Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast with your man Jay Will. Isn't today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I have to say that every Tuesday. There have been times when I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, it's not even Tuesday. But it's your man Jay Will, and it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday's podcast. Let me get this shared out on social media, and we are doing it. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Tuesday. We are going to chat once again. And we are going to have a pretty interesting conversation tonight, probably. Let me share some more social media. All right. Let's do this, as they say. There's always something in the news to discuss, but there's always also some kind of drama. Or I shouldn't call it drama. I should just say excitement. Excitement. You're probably thinking, Jay, you named this Our Choice, like it or not. Yeah, it's your choice pretty much. And what other people think really shouldn't affect you too much. So this is Tuesday's podcast. First, I want to thank you guys for getting me to a great milestone, over 3,000 subs. Greatly appreciated. Couldn't have done it without you. That's honestly the truth. People say that a lot. You know, as YouTubers, we say that a lot. It's just anybody who's probably in the industry at all, and they're growing and they want to thank their fans, or they want to thank the people who are actually listening to them. That's probably something that we toss around a lot. Couldn't have done it without you. But it really is true. Couldn't get to this point without you. When you think about that, there's over 3,000 people subscribe to my podcast, and it's exciting for me. Now, most of those people probably don't catch me live, obviously. But I'm longing for the day when I have 3,000 plus people listening to me live or watching me live. I think that would be very entertaining, and I think I would definitely be up for the job. I should say challenge, because I don't want it to feel like work. When it starts to feel like work, time to go. Because retirement life is fantastic. I don't want any of this to feel like work. So a quick round of applause for you all. You guys are awesome. And let's get on with this. So pretty much the title kind of says it all. It should say it all for you. You like what you like. And really don't worry too much about what other people say about what you like, if you will. So, hey, shout out to My Project 13 joining in. And shout out to everybody who's able to catch me live. I was just speaking about that a moment ago. A lot of people probably aren't able to catch me live with the podcast. But if you can catch me live, I guarantee you will be entertained. Because I love a good debate. I love a good topic. I love good conversation. And I think it's always good to interact with people and get different opinions. And another thing before we get started, I want to thank everybody who joined in last week on the podcast. I took some phone calls last week, and it was very fun. I don't take phone calls every time I do a podcast, but it was very fun to take those phone calls and speak to all the different people who had their opinions to give. But Our Choice, like it or not, that is today's topic. And we're talking about your choices and decisions that you make when it comes to your purchases. And I think a lot of times when you see people online, and you often wonder why they're so affected by what other people might think about what they're purchasing or doing. And you're always going to catch some kind of heat, especially if you're in the limelight like I am. If I put myself out there, I got to be ready for people to criticize me. I got to be ready for people to judge me. Just anything of that nature. And it doesn't affect me at all like this. It's not that serious when it comes to people. Because I know that once I put myself out there, people are going to give their opinion of me or what I'm talking about, the topic, whatever it is. And you just have to be ready for that. But as a consumer, I think a lot of people are affected by choices made in their decision, because a lot of people will buy something and they look for others to accept their choices, if you will. Not everybody. I'm not saying this happens with everybody, but you see it online. You know that if you, again, put yourself out in the limelight, you're going to be criticized by someone. This is just human nature. And criticism can be, it can impact you in a different way. It doesn't have to always be negative. But in most cases, people are impacted by criticism in a negative way. And hey, there's Grant. And shout out to everybody who's catching me, who's joining in. It's Tuesday's podcast, and we're just chatting about pretty much decision making or how people are received when they're making their choices. So when you are out in front, and fortunately there are YouTubers in here, and they can tell you that when you're out in front, you are going to be criticized by a ton of people. There's nothing you can do about it. And there's a difference between criticism and feedback. And I think a lot of people online are not in tune with those two words. They mean something completely different, and they affect people in a different way. There's criticism, and then there's feedback. And I think a lot of times when you see comments about purchases online, people aren't giving feedback, they're giving their criticism. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't handle that criticism. They get upset and they start to defend their purchase, or they start to defend why they like something that they like. I did a video, and it's going to release tomorrow. I decided to just release it tomorrow, so be tuned in at 8 a.m. if you get. A lot of people are up early in the morning, but it's actually a video. It's not a podcast. It's not a pre-recorded podcast. It's actually a video on the channel, on my YouTube channel, and that'll be coming out tomorrow at 8 a.m. I guess I've just decided as of this podcast to release it at 8 a.m. But it kind of touches bases on things like that. If you make a purchase, ultimately it's up to you to be happy with that purchase. But unfortunately, a lot of people fall victim to what other people say about their purchase. Make sense? A lot of people will make a purchase and then go to the internet to get acceptance of their purchase or reassurance that their purchase was a good purchase. And I really don't. I think it's unfortunate that some people do this, not all. Some people do that. Some people look for a confirmation that they made the right choice. It's not that they're doing something bad or wrong. It's more of, why are you looking for acceptance after you made your purchase? This is something that happens every day. Every day. And I know this because I get comments on my videos. Hey, Jay, man, people always say, I got this because of you, or, you influenced me to do this. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate, you looking at the video, but ultimately it's your choice in the end. It's not for me to tell you what to buy. And I really feel like some people get caught in a kind of this whirlwind of, I need to get people to like what I like. And this is just how it is. And this isn't just on the internet. This is in person. People are like that. Haven't you met that person in person? And, they're asking you, should I get this? And you're thinking, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what your needs are, and I don't even know why you're buying it. Or if you're the go-to person for the tech in your family, you get that a lot. There's a lot of people that will tell you, hey, I know you're going to help me make the right choice. And you're thinking, I really don't want to be responsible for that, because if you don't like it, then you're going to come back and tell me that I gave you a bad choice, or I told you to do something and then I was wrong, so to speak. But that's why when it comes to your purchases of smartphones, you really, and not just smartphones, but I'm running smartphoneconversations.com. So that's what I want to focus on the most. And I do have tablets and computers and laptops, whatever. But if you're making a purchase, you have to learn to differentiate what the difference is between you making that purchase and somebody else making it for you. Now, on my channel and several other YouTubers' channels that I know of, they review phones that cost $9 all the way up to $1,000, $1,100-$1,200. So having a wide range like that, sometimes I think customers or people who are watching a YouTube channel can get a little overwhelmed because they're wondering on one hand, wait, this guy has an iPhone X and he brags about how great it is, but he's telling me to buy this phone that's $190. Why is that? Well, to be clear, I don't directly tell people, I recommend to people. So I think it's best that, and that's why I appropriately labeled this one our choice, like it or not, because ultimately what's starting to happen is people are making purchases based off of YouTube videos, and it's unfortunate. You know, I've seen so many iPhone X commercials, it's unreal. Pixel XL2, Pixel 2, there are tons of commercials on those phones, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has some of the funniest, and they have the most commercials out, I believe, of any of those people, of any of those companies, I should say. There are so many things out there to try to persuade people to purchase their product. So in the end, it's ultimately your choice whether you want to make that purchase or not. Now, I've asked the question before on the channel, on the podcast, why did you make that purchase based on what I said? And a lot of people responded, well, I didn't so much base it on what you said or what other YouTubers said. I used you guys as kind of a benchmark to help me decide, because a couple things can't lie. Video footage, I do a lot of camera footage on phones, and Grant does too. Because that type of footage can't lie. So when you put two phones next to each other, or you put a phone out there by itself, the footage, depending on what the person is watching it on, it's going to come across as it should. So things like that, you can't tell a person that they're going to get. You can't guarantee that they're going to get good battery. Studying. You can't guarantee that a person is going to get good battery, because battery life is totally subjective. So when you see people saying, even myself, when you hear me say, I guarantee you'll get at least this, keyword, possibly at least this. And because I've used it in a heavy nature and I'm getting it, so in theory, you should get more if you're using it lighter. You should get way more days than I get. You should get way more time out of the device than I get. You should get a better experience than I get. Ultimately, that's what I'm looking for. So when, like, here's an example. My iPhone X, I bought the Zero Lemon battery case. I don't like it. And I didn't even do a follow-up video on it because I had to return it. It was defective. And it's unfortunate because I like Zero Lemon. That's my first Zero Lemon battery case that I've ever had a problem with. But the Zero Lemon case that I purchased, it wouldn't charge all the way up. Well, it would charge, but it would shut off when the phone went idle. So basically, I would put my phone in there, and I would press the charge button, and then when I go back to my phone, it's not charging anymore. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I didn't get the Zero Lemon battery case because someone told me that it was going to be good and they were going to guarantee me something. I got the Zero Lemon battery case because of my previous experiences with Zero Lemon. I've got a lot of Zero Lemon products, and Zero Lemon products are fantastic. You know, so when a person is going onto YouTube, so real quick, thanks to everybody that's coming in on the podcast. If you're watching this, or if you're listening to this on a download or a replay, I appreciate the replay crew. But all the people that are live with me here and in the chat right now, hello to everybody that's popping in. My experiences with Zero Lemon have been fantastic. This is the first time that I've ever had an issue with it. And I'm going to buy another battery case, obviously, but this is such an easy one to cover by me labeling this our choice, like it or not. In the end, if you make a choice to buy something, you probably don't have a legitimate reason to go back and get on to the person that you watched on YouTube about it being a bad choice. Because, and I'm not saying that this happened to me recently, but it has happened to me in the past. A person will say, hey, I bought this because you said it was good. And I'm thinking, okay, I said it was good for me. Or I said it was good overall the person might have this type of experience. When you're making a purchase, when you swipe your credit card, I'm not there. When you swipe your credit card, YouTubers are not standing next to you. They're at home or in the bathroom or in the garage. They're somewhere else. But I want people to start making conscious choices. And this is kind of for people who watch YouTubers at this point, the statement I'm going to make. Try to make your own choice on what you're going to purchase. Use us, like the other person told me, as a benchmark. Okay, so we all took basic algebra in school. It was a requirement, and I've been out of school for 28, 30 years or more. Yeah, a little bit more than that. But the thing is, you have to use us as a benchmark. You have to take what we say for a small fraction of what is going to be involved in your purchase. Does that make sense? I hope so, because at one point I was getting a lot of backlash, and not just me, I'm pretty sure a lot of YouTubers get it. People blame you for their bad experience. And that to me doesn't make much sense, but people do it. I've heard every story you could think of. It's your fault that I don't like this phone because it has poor battery, and you said it was going to have good battery. And that's why I said earlier, battery is so subjective, because I only keep 120, no more than 100, actually 105 to 115 apps probably on my device, because I only put applications on my device that I'm actually going to use. This is important. A lot of people don't do that. I've seen people bragging about having 400 apps on their phone. All they're doing is eating up resources and just stuff sitting in the background. It's nothing special about having 400 apps on your... It's funny. I hate to laugh, but it's just nothing special about having that many apps on your phone if you're not using them. Most people are using the same applications on their devices. If you're in the tech field or social media, you're using the same few devices. Let me name a couple of them. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, Chrome, Hangouts, iMessenger, FaceTime. You're using just these few apps. And if you're a reader, you might be using your Kindle a lot on your device. Certain things you're using more. And email. Obviously, you're doing a lot of email more than likely. If you have a smartphone, you don't have a smartphone because you're not going to use it, or because someone told you to buy it and you just didn't want it. You have a smartphone because you're probably wanting more out of a device to be portable. You want to be hands-free. You want to get the most out of your money that you're purchasing. You want to be on the go. You want to do things on the go. There's plenty of devices out there that can do that. But I think there's a huge disconnect between... I hope this doesn't sound harsh, but there's a huge disconnect between reality for some people and YouTube. Some people think that YouTube is the say-all final answer. Even with my channel, I tell people, don't so much do what I do. I say, take this, run with it. You can listen to me all you want to, but yeah. Don't buy it because I'm telling you to buy it. I've recommended several phones. I've gone on record and said, hey, you have got to check this out. You've got to check it out. That doesn't mean that you're going to like it. That doesn't mean you're going to like it. And any YouTuber that's listening can tell you this happens all the time. Let me mute the mic for a second. I got to tear open a bag here. I had to get a pretzel. If you're in the market for something, recently I picked up the LG Q6. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm definitely probably going to recommend this phone to several people. First reason is the price and the quality. Those two. Price first, then the quality of the product. Fantastic. How is it LG can pull off this metal frame, sleek body, 18:9 ratio for $200? And I got mine for a lot less than that. It is awesome. It's beautiful. I'm going to read some of the comments here because I see some people commenting about doing your own research. Hey, Susan. Let me see. Let me scroll backwards here. Our dog. What's going on, our dog? When I get a phone, this is what our dog says. When I get a phone, I have to see some real life experiences from someone, usually a lot of people. And you can go through that. You can experience that on YouTube. But when you're watching a reviewer, it's got to be a reviewer you can trust. You got to check their track record. You know, you've got to make sure that there's someone who has a history of telling you the truth and not just trying to sell you something because, like, I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but if a YouTuber is telling you, oh, it's okay to spend $1,100 on a smartphone, something's wrong with that picture. Who they're talking to? I would never recommend that you spend $1,100. I would say I bought it, but you don't have to. It's a good phone, but here's another alternative you can get. Brandon, hey Brandon, how you doing? Brandon says, when I'm considering a purchase, I watch several reputable reviews, and I'm reading his comments. So he's smart. He says he reads several reputable reviewers and try to see what the consensus is about, and then judge from there and previous experiences. And that's what you should do. Find some people that you trust, and if you're going to, now I understand that YouTube may be the only source of a way that a person might get a chance to experience something that's a future purchase. I would be a hypocrite if I sat on this podcast and told you I didn't have something and I watched a video. And one is this, he just entered the room. Shout out to Techzilla. Techzilla has the U11 Plus. I want that phone. I trust what he's saying, so I've only watched his videos and I've only watched Pocket. I think it's the company, they're on Twitter. It's called HTC Source. I follow them because they got it before Techzilla. So I had watched one of their videos and I watched his video. I would be a hypocrite if I say I didn't do that myself, which I do. If I know I'm in my reach for something is far away, I got to get some sense of it, because if you know me and my channel, I don't like to do returns. I don't like to do it. I like to measure 100 times and cut once. You know? So that's good that Brandon uses us. If he uses me, hopefully he does. Hopefully I'm a trusted person for Brandon and some of the other YouTubers in here, that we've given you enough history on ourselves to let you know you can pretty much trust me. Yeah, I bought a phone that was $1,000, but I also bought a phone that was $29, and I would tell you that if it can do the basic functions that you need, get the one for $29. Yeah, it might not look as cool, might not have the better cameras, but it still can do what you need. Susan says, I like to do my own research. I got a store, play with them. Yeah, just go to the store and play with them. She says she goes to the store and she plays with them. She watches a handful of YouTube videos for some hints. That's it. Techzilla, shout out to Techzilla. He's in the house in the podcast. Techzilla says there's not enough people using their own minds and rely on too much on others. And he, that might sound harsh, but I said that earlier. He's kind of, it's not to put people down. It's more of, you can watch me, but I want you ultimately to cut that cake with your own knife. Don't cut it with mine. Does that make sense to the people that are watching, listening to this on replay, or even the people that they might be listening to this on YouTube? But it makes sense to ultimately not place blame on somebody else because you don't like the product that they recommended. This is kind of a huge issue that I'm starting to see on YouTube, and it affected me at one point. There were people coming back to my videos saying, you bum. They used another choice of words. You bum. You said this was a good phone. You're a liar. I had to return 3 of mine. And if they wouldn't have used such nasty words, I would have responded and said, I'm not the manufacturer. I can't help it. Like someone commented recently, and yes, I deleted the comment from that person. But someone commented recently and said, well, this phone sucks. This isn't, you're lying. I'm thinking, wow, they were saying something about the iPhone X. Are you getting something on the screen or something? And also the Essential phone. It comes a lot with those phones. Is this happening? Or they'll leave a comment in the video saying, is this happening to anyone else? Now, comments are okay. But if you have like issues, if I'm not doing a video about like bug fixes and stuff like that, how about you take that comment to a forum where somebody can really give you some help? Because forums and threads and are way bigger than YouTube when it comes to I can help you fix the problem because you can talk directly to people. That's just how I feel. I wouldn't go to a YouTube video and post a question, can someone else help me with this? Or I would say, let me go call the manufacturer or whatever. But someone had a problem with something that I recommended, and they pretty much said, you're a bum. You recommended this horrible phone. It's trash. The cameras aren't good. And I'm just thinking, hey, it's not my fault that you had to return 3 of those. I didn't make the phone. My 1 unit is fantastic. I appreciate it, Brandon. Yeah, Techzilla says he meant no offense in that comment. This is what it's about, He's right. I mean, and I said that earlier. You have to make your own choices. Yeah, he's talking about a person. There's a person named LaShawn M. He's in the Telegram groups. He's not even a YouTuber, but I think a lot of people know him because he buys Nexus devices and he loves them. He stands behind them, but ultimately he'll make that purchase. He's made that purchase on his own. Yeah, Tech. I don't think anybody should be offended by that, Techzilla, because I said it earlier, and I probably was a little bit more harsh than what you said, but I think people ultimately, you're going to have, not you or in one particular, but for the people that, and there are people out there who solely, and it's not that it's bad. I don't want people to think it's bad, but there's people out there that solely make their purchases off of what they see and hear. And I know this because in the comments, and I'm pretty sure there's, even if you're not a YouTuber, you see this in YouTubers' comments, someone saying, well, so-and-so said that it was horrible and you shouldn't buy it. I posted a video about the LG Q6, which is a fantastic phone. Someone put on there, what about that boot loop that's going on? That hasn't happened to anybody since the G4, from what I understand. And it never happened to me at all, not even on my G4. So I don't understand the approach that some people make, but if you have the audacity to blame someone else because you don't like something or you had a bad experience with it, and it was your choice ultimately, that's not the person that recommended its fault. Because I can guarantee you, we probably don't care. And that's just what it is. If I can tell you all day that the iPhone X is still got my #1 SIM slot, which it does. This phone is the phone that made me fall in love with the iPhone all over again. It will be the truth. But that doesn't mean I'm going to tell you to run out and spend $1,000. I got like 50 phones on my desk. I don't need everybody to go out and buy every phone. I mean, if their phones for like $49 or $150 or less or $200 or less, hey, and you can afford it, go buy them because I'm going to recommend some great ones for under $200. I'm going to read some comments. Shout out to Ronald. He says, I research before I buy anything. He says, I like watching reviews, but nothing beats the hands-on. Love your reviews and others and use them as a part of my research. That's a smart way to think. That's a smart way to think. That is a smart way to think. You have to ultimately pull the trigger yourself. If some guy walks in and says, hey, I need you to shoot that guy. Here's the gun. Do you take the gun and say, okay. Then after you shoot him, you get life in jail. Well, he told me to do it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. I think on YouTube, a couple things that are happening here. Get a sip of this Gatorade. A couple of things are happening. People are getting a little obnoxious online. And this is something that, you don't have to be a YouTuber to see this. On my channel, you probably don't see a lot of attacks because I delete them before you guys see them, or I delete them as I see them, whether it's on me or someone else in the comments. But YouTube has gotten really belligerent and absurd with the comments of people blaming people for making, a bad choice or a bad purchase. And here's another good example. The Essential phone came out. And I hate to keep ragging on the Essential phone, but listen, the Essential phone is fantastic. For those who are patient and you're getting those updates, let me tell you. Let me tell you something. The Essential phone is fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So there are people who, when the phone first came out, they said they listened to all the bad reviews saying, oh man, Centraphone's trash, all these certain people on YouTube. You know me, I'm all about respect. You can call out names. I choose not to do that because I do have some kind of relationship with some of these people, and they're nice people. But some people forget that they have a voice that everybody's going to listen to. If one or two people say something on YouTube, it's a fact. That's just what it is. It's a fact. It's a fact. And that's just the way it goes on YouTube. There's absolutely nothing that some people say on YouTube gets taken literally. Like, people agree with it. Here, one example was the Essential Phoner. Some people said it was trash, and some people said, I knew it, and they start going to other people's videos saying, don't buy that. So-and-so said it was horrible. And I'm thinking, dude, you got to get your own mind. You've got to get your own mind. Don't worry about what someone else said. Get your own mind. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Your research is your responsibility. Your responsibility. Let me read some of these comments in here. Techzilla, just don't always believe the hype. yeah. Techzilla is totally right on point. I haven't even read the rest of his comment yet, but he says, don't believe the hype. He's talking to everybody, me included. He's talking to all of us. We're all kind of just engaging. And don't believe the hype. He said, I'm working on a video, and it took a couple of nice photos in U11 Plus and iPhone X and the Note 8. U11 Plus slapped both of them. Yet no one talks about the U11's camera except you, Jay, and me. Yeah, me and Techzilla almost become advocates of. And no, we don't work for HTC. We don't get any kickback. We don't get any money. Nothing, man. I don't know why people believe that, but I haven't gotten one paycheck from any from HTC at all. Nothing. No ZTE either. None of those guys. No paychecks from me. If I get a paycheck and you ask me, I'll tell you privately, yeah, I got a paycheck for that. But what does it matter? Do people not watch commercials? Like Jaime Rivera said it best. For people are ragging on certain people for doing a spot for Samsung or LG or whatever, or just if you do a spot for anybody, you're a YouTuber. People who watch you will criticize you. And I think Jaime Rivera said it best. And I don't really rock with Jaime Rivera like that. I don't really know him. I've never spoken to him, even though I've seen him at a ton of events. Never spoke to him. Nothing bad, no bad blood. I just didn't cross paths with him. I just looked at him and he looked at me and we went our separate ways. Nothing bad, nothing wrong. No animosity, no. We don't even know each other for one, so that's why. But he said it best on his Twitter account. He said something along the nature of, if people complaining about YouTubers taking a payday for doing a spot for a company have obviously never watched a commercial. And he's 100% right. People who rag on YouTubers for taking a paycheck for doing something, let me say this the best way I know how to say it. You're a hater. Especially if you're another YouTuber. You're a hater. You're hating because you're not where they are and you want to get to where they are. And I've said it on record multiple times. You can't step on someone to get ahead. Your day is going to come where you get to that spot, and however you're performing or acting prior to getting to that spot, that's how you're going to be when you get there. So you're probably not going to last long. You're a hater. And let's just be straightforward. If I, in fact, was getting a paycheck from ZTE and HTC and all these companies, and everybody knew it, why am I a sellout? Ultimately, the goal for YouTubers is to get everything for free and to get a payday. Who wouldn't want that? Why would you not want to be rewarded for the hard work that you put into a video? So those people who make fun of YouTubers all the time saying, oh, you're a sellout, you took a payday, you're a hater. That's what it is. Now back to the subject. The U11, like Techzilla was saying, is an underrated device. It pretty much is. I've promoted a lot of ZTE devices, not because I want a trip with ZTE, not because I'm getting special favors with ZTE. It's because I actually like the products. And what's wrong with me recommending a phone that's $120? Why wouldn't you want to save some money? That's just what it is. So when people are saying, and some people are saying here, well, I do my own research. That's ultimately your responsibility. You have to do your own research. You have to. Recently, I recommended the Xiaomi Mi A1. And obviously, I'm recommending this phone because it's hot, man. It is hot. I wouldn't recommend garbage to you guys. I don't recommend a lot of phones, man. It's not because I get a big kickback from GearBest. I put affiliate link. GearBest is the only company that I have an affiliate link with, and trust me, it's not like what you think. I mean, if you think $9 every now and then or $12, it can add up. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna front, but there's not much kickback like what you think. I recommend, and I'm holding it right now, the Xiaomi Mi A1. I could recommend this phone all day. But if people don't listen to me and they're too worried about what somebody else said, or it's just silly, you're never going to experience a good phone. You're never going to go outside of your realm. You're never going to get to experience a lot of different things. And that's no one's fault if you want to place blame, but your own. There are so many devices out there. Like if a person gave me $1,000 and said, go buy what you want in smartphones, I definitely would not. I would not go buy one phone. I would try to buy as many phones as I could. Like if I was doing a giveaway at the end of the year, and every year I do a giveaway, I give away a package deal. I give away a Bluetooth, a phone. Every year I've done this. I give away a phone, a Bluetooth, and all throughout the year I do giveaways. If I just say, here's $1,000, but you can only buy phones and tech stuff with it. You can't spend it on bills. You got to go buy some phones, a phone. I think most people would try to. Some people might run out and say, oh my gosh, I finally get my Galaxy Note, or oh my gosh, I finally get my iPhone. That's totally up to them. That's totally up to them. Their choice. But I would be smart and I would start doing my research. I would say, hey, okay, I've been wanting this for a long time, but do I actually need it? That's where your research comes in and you start to make your own choices. Do I really need this? Or can I go ahead and get this one that's scaled down a little bit? Example, I like the U11. I've been liking it. Jay's been telling me it's great. But he just gave me $1,000 and said I could only buy phones and tablets and stuff with it. What should I get? I probably could get the U11 Life. It's half the cost. And I still get fantastic cameras. Then that leaves me $700 to go buy more stuff. Wait, I can grab the T-Mobile Revel. I can grab the Xiaomi Mi A1. I can mix it up and get different. I can do whatever I want to do. Choice. Going to the comments here. Anonymous bullies trying to make themselves feel important. Amen. Yeah. 5-second advertising gives that. Yep. That's correct. Some people, Ronald says, some people don't know the difference between getting paid to review a product and getting paid to lie or cover up about a product. And you're absolutely right. There's a difference. I've sold my material to companies before. I've done it before. But that's just a deal. LG has given me nearly every phone. They've actually given me nearly every phone except for the V30. I had to buy that. And they didn't give me this Q6. I had to buy that. It stopped at the V. I didn't get a V20 for free either. No, I think I got a review unit. I don't remember. I got a review unit, but it wasn't from LG. But Ronald is right. There's a difference between actually selling out. A sellout is going to take a product that they got for free or took a payday on it and tell you that it's fantastic because that's what they're being told to do. That's what they're being told to. I had someone tell me one time, I'm not going to let something happen with a company. A company said, don't do this until this time. Someone told me, well, I'm not going to let anybody control me. I'm not going to let anybody tell me what to do on my channel. And I was like, it's kind of disappointing with that person because they obviously should know that I'm not being controlled by anyone. But, if that's the route they wanted to take, so be it. But it's called playing by the rules. If you want to be successful at whatever you do, I've been in the corporate world and I'm already retired. You guys know the story. I've been in the law enforcement. I've been in the military, disabled war vet. You've got to learn to play the game. In certain situations, you got to learn to play the game. You got to learn to know when to be quiet. You got to know when to shine. Everybody gets that chance to blow up. And if they miss it because they're doing something stupid on YouTube, it's no one's fault but their own. So you can't hate on another person because they're playing the game. They're getting what they need out of the situation. Can't hate on them. But someone made a comment about, I'm going to let you being controlled by these companies. I'm thinking, man, I'm probably the last person to be controlled, and I didn't get paid for anything. So it is what it is. Either you're going to play yourself or get played, or you're going to play the game. Your choice. Choices when it comes to a purchase, choices. And it's not, I guess it's just not about choices for a purchase. It's when you relate to a YouTuber, I can relate to a YouTuber. I get all kind of offers. I turn a lot of them down though. I turn a lot of them down because it's going to compromise my integrity. And even though you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, you don't have to. I know. I know what's being said behind closed doors. And I know that I'm probably going to be like, nah, it doesn't matter that no one knows. I'm not saying that, or I'm not doing that. And when it comes to making a purchase, that's for consumers. But for me, when it comes to doing a YouTube video or taking a product for review, you have no idea how many times I get an email saying, well, we need you to say this instead. I'm like, well, you can have your product back, because that will be a lie, and I'm not doing it. So do you want me to release this video as is, or I'll send it back to you. I'll even pay for the shipping and send it back to you. Have no problem doing that. Not going to sell out and lie just to get some money. Not young anymore, not chasing money. Not going to happen. If a payday comes, it comes. But if a person wants to, here's a good example of something here. Getting back on topic. I got the iPhone X, and I've got the Essential phone, and I've got the Galaxy Note 8, and I've got the U11. Now, before I even try to give this example, people listening, not you guys or not anyone in particular, anybody who's listening to this later, live, replay, I don't know, download, whatever, YouTube, I don't know. I can lay those three phones on the table, the U11, the Essential phone, the iPhone X, and the Galaxy Note 8. I know the first thing I'm going to hear, and this shouldn't shock you. Why are you putting the Galaxy Note 8 in that lineup? The Galaxy Note 8 is superior to all phones. Pause. Why is that? Why is the Galaxy Note 8 superior to all phones? In that person's mind, the Galaxy Note 8 is superior to all phones. And in some people's minds, the Galaxy Note 8 can't even be compared to an iPhone. It can't be compared to anything. When in fact, you've seen plenty of videos of people showing you that the Galaxy Note 8 is fantastic, myself included. I love the Galaxy Note 8. I'm actually doing this podcast from the Galaxy Note 8, believe it or not. This is all the Galaxy Note 8. No external microphones, no nothing. Because I know how good the audio quality is when recording on a Galaxy Note 8. It's fantastic. But I could lay those phones out, and somebody would argue me down saying, you're a sucker. There's no way that you can compare that phone with those other three trash phones. This one has the S Pen. This one can sign documents. This one can, Not everybody does that who buys a Galaxy Note 8. I do, but not everybody does that. That's something to be desired by a lot of people, but a lot of people also don't want to pay $950. They just don't. It's just what it is. Well-rounded, complete package phones don't cost $1,000. At least in the real world. In the fantasy world, oh yeah. It does. It does. If you're going to make a choice to buy something, you can't hold other people responsible for your decision when it goes sour. Or can you? Can you hold someone responsible if something goes sour? You can't. No? I don't think you can. Somebody might answer and say, yeah, you sure you can. They told me, it's people that actually think like that. Well, you told me that I was going to like it. And they stand firm on that. They stand firm on it, and they don't have anything else to say about it. You said I was going to like it. I didn't like it. It's your fault. I want my money back. I had some guy come to my video and tell me And I don't need to say who he is. I had some guy come to my video and tell me it was my fault that he lost money. He went on Swappa or something like that. Because I said, even if you'd find it pre-owned, it still should be pretty good. You take a risk buying pre-owned. Yes? I think anybody would think that. You take a risk buying pre-owned. It's not like buying a pre-owned car. There's definitely a way you can go get that resolved because you can actually purchase a warranty with that. You can. But with a smartphone, you buy a smartphone on Swappa. I don't know if you guys remember, but I got burned on Swappa. And again, here we go. I'm not saying Swappa is bad. Please don't say that. I shop on Swappa. I sell on Swappa. Swappa is not bad. Swappa is a fantastic place to buy things. However, you take a risk. You take a higher risk buying online pre-owned. Like if you buy eBay pre-owned, you buy Swappa pre-owned, Amazon pre-owned. But if I buy Craigslist pre-owned, it's less risk because I can actually feel it and look at it and say, nah, man, it's got scratches on it. You didn't describe it right. Those pictures look fake. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Chris is here. Shout out to Chris. He said, I had a Note 8 in hand the other day, and it's too big for me. See? Everybody doesn't like it. Trying to take it out to the gym in my pocket. I understand. He said he'll stick with his S8. He pretty much still has the same phone, though. He's got his S8, which is very pocketable. And you get the same software experience, same camera experience, pretty much the same. And that's just how it goes. Quick topic, guys. Your choice, like it or not, you have to live with that choice. Thanks, everybody, for coming out to today's podcast. Believe it or not, we're rolling up on an hour. Can't believe that. But today's podcast is sponsored. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, wow, Jay, you got a sponsor? No, I don't. I'd like some, though. But I appreciate you guys joining by. Those who catch me live on the podcast, I truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I won't hold you long this time. But I do want to thank you for stopping by. Shout out to Texzilla for catching me live. I don't think I've seen him in here before or in a long time. Probably at the beginning, but shout out to everybody, Grant, all you other YouTubers, Chris, all you regulars out there. I appreciate you guys stopping by, Susan, and everybody out there that I don't call your name. I still see you, though. It's your man, Jay Will. Tuesday's podcast is now rolling to a close. I'll see you next week. Take care.